Which American community has more wealth? White Americans or Black Americans? What if I told you that the wealthiest country in the world, the United States of America, is still haunted by a shadow cast by generations of economic inequality? It's a story that many don't want to talk about, but one that shapes the lives of millions of people every single day. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most shocking realities in America, the vast wealth divide between white and Black Americans. This isn't just about dollars and cents. No, this is a story about power, privilege, and a system rigged from the start. You might think you know the history, but the truth runs far deeper. Let's begin with a number, 8. That's how many times wealthier the average white family is compared to the average Black family. Yes, you heard that right, 8 times. How did we get here? How did this divide become so enormous? To understand the present, we have to go back to where it all began. It's the 1930s. The US government is mapping out neighborhoods for home loans, but there's a catch. Black neighborhoods are marked in red, locked out of the housing market. This practice, known as redlining, sealed the fate of countless Black families, shutting them out of homeownership, the very key to building wealth. While white Americans were buying homes, building assets, and securing futures for their children, Black Americans were being pushed further into the margins. And the effects of redlining didn't just fade away, they festered. Generation after generation, Black families were kept from the same opportunities that allowed white families to flourish. The divide began to grow, wider and wider. But that's just one piece of the puzzle. Today, the wealth divide continues to expand. Even in 2024, white Americans own homes at much higher rates, 73% compared to only 45% of Black Americans. For many white families, homeownership is a direct ticket to building wealth. For Black Americans, it's an uphill battle that's been rigged from the start. The wealth disparity between white and Black Americans is stark when measured in dollar terms. 1. White Americans. The median household wealth for white Americans is approximately $188,200. This figure includes assets such as homes, savings, investments, and other financial resources. 2. Black Americans. The median household wealth for Black Americans is significantly lower, at around $24,100. This vast difference highlights the systemic barriers and economic inequality faced by the Black community. This wealth gap means that, on average, white families possess about 8 times the wealth of Black families in the U.S. Think about this: a white family can pass down their home, their savings, their wealth, setting up their children for success. But for Black families who've faced decades of discrimination, that wealth never had a chance to build, to grow, to be passed on. The result? An ever-widening gap. The wealth divide isn't just about what you earn today, it's about what your family earned decades ago, and what they were allowed to earn. But the story doesn't end there. There's more. Far more. Because wealth isn't just about homes, is it? It's about education. It's about jobs. It's about access. White Americans have historically had greater access to the best education, the highest paying jobs, and the most lucrative career paths. This access translates directly into wealth, money in the bank, investments in the stock market, retirement savings. Meanwhile, Black Americans face an uphill climb, often locked out of these opportunities due to barriers that still exist today. Think about the power of inheritance. While white families have been building generational wealth that grows and multiplies over time, black families have been fighting just to catch up. The truth? The gap isn't closing. In fact, it's growing. Wealth, after all, compounds. What you build today can set the stage for your children's future, and their children's future. For many black Americans, those opportunities were stolen, not by chance, but by design. So, here we are, facing a wealth divide that can't be ignored. A gap that reveals a deeper truth about America's past and present. And the question lingers, can this divide ever be closed? Some say the answer lies in reparations, in policy changes, in tearing down the systems that have kept so many from the American dream. But that's the next chapter in this story. And it's being written as we speak. The wealth divide between white and black Americans isn't just a statistic, it's a story of legacy, of struggle, of a fight for equality that's far from over. But now that we know the truth, we can begin to change it. The question is, will we? This has been a journey through the hidden truth of America's wealth divide. Stay curious, stay engaged, and remember, every story has the power to spark change.